Proverbs 13. A wise son heareth his father's instruction, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. Definition of scorn: the feeling or belief that someone or something is worthless or despicable. Contempt. So again, a wise son heareth his father's instructions, but a scorner heareth not rebuke. Rebuke. What is rebuke? Rebuke. To express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or actions. So one who delights in putting people down and treating people cruel heareth not rebuke. Can't stand criticism. Verse 2. A man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressor shall eat violence. Transgressor. To transgress. To infringe or go beyond the bounds of a moral principle or other established standard of behavior. So again, a man shall eat good by the fruit of his mouth, but the soul of the transgressors shall eat violence. We know what violence is. Verse 3. He that keepeth his mouth keepeth his life, but he that open wide his lips shall have destruction. That's straightforward. Silence is golden, and he who keepeth his lips is considered a wise man. Verse 4. The soul of the sluggard desireth, and hath nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. A sluggard is a lazy person, a person who puts forth very little effort. Verse 5. A righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome and cometh to shame. Loathsome, causing hatred or disgust. Repulsive. So a righteous man hateth lying, but a wicked man is loathsome, hateful, and disgusting, and cometh to shame. Shame, a painful emotion caused by consciousness of guilt, shortcoming, or impropriety. It is a condition of humiliating disgrace. Verse 6. Righteousness keepeth him that is upright in the way, but wickedness overthroweth the sinner. That's pretty straightforward. The righteous are kept, and the wicked are overthrown. Verse 7. There is that maketh himself rich, yet hath nothing. There is that maketh himself poor, yet hath great riches. To maketh himself poor, yet have great riches, sounds like someone who gives, someone who is charitable and kind, who will receive riches in heaven. But to be rich here on earth and to have faith in your money and in your possessions is foolishness, because it often leads to selfishness and greed. Referencing Mark 10, verse 25, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter in the kingdom of God. Truth on top of truth. Verse 8. The ransom of a man's life are his riches, but the poor man heareth not rebuke. So the poor man heareth not rebuke. Rebuke again express sharp disapproval or criticism of someone because of their behavior or action. But the rich man, being rich, can pay his way out of some situations. Thus, his riches are his ransom. Verse 9, the light of the righteous rejoiceth, but the lamp of the wicked shall be put out. That's pretty straightforward. Verse 10, only by pride cometh contention, but with the well-advised is wisdom. Pride bringeth contention. Contention, heated disagreement, an assertion, especially one maintained in argument. Heated arguments are fueled by pride. But a wise man or person is open to receiving advice. Verse 11, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathereth by labor shall increase. Vanity, expressive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. Wow. So, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished. Wow, you see how pride and wealth go hand in hand? We have to be careful what we strive for and what we put our hearts on. But the world is constantly telling us differently. The world is constantly telling us the opposite of the word, the opposite of truth. Verse 12, hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. Well, I was hoping that she loved me, but when I realized that she doesn't love me, I was devastated. That would be hope deferred, maketh the heart sick. But when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life. But when I realized that the joy of the Lord is my strength, I was rejuvenated and revived. Verse 13, whoso despiseth the word shall be destroyed, but he that feareth the commandments shall be rewarded. Who despiseth the word? Who despiseth truth? They shall be destroyed. To despise truth means to love false or to love lies. Verse 14, the law of the wise is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. The laws of the wise is a fountain of life, wisdom, life, to depart from the snares of death, foolishness, wickedness, death. Spiritual death for certain. Verse 15, good understanding giveth favor, but the way of the transgressors is hard. Once again, to transgress, to infringe or go beyond the bounds of a moral principle. The world is always challenging moral principle. Society drives us to transgress. It encourages us to transgress. Pay attention. The way of transgressors is hard. Verse 16. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge, but a fool layeth open his folly. Prudent, acting with or showing care and thought for the future. Every prudent man dealeth with knowledge. But a fool layeth open his folly. Folly. Lack of good sense. Foolishness. Foolish act. Foolish idea. Foolish practice. Verse 17. A wicked messenger falleth into mischief, but a faithful ambassador is health. Well, a messenger is a person who carries a message or is employed to do so. A wicked messenger, he's subject to change the message, which will cause mischief or cause problems. But a faithful messenger is health and is good. Verse 18. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction, but he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. Reproof, an expression of blame or disapproval. But he that regardeth reproof shall be honored. Poverty and shame shall be to him that refuseth instruction. The desire accomplished is sweet to the soul, but it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. As we read earlier, verse 12, hope deferred maketh the heart sick, but when the desire cometh, it is a tree of life, right? Now in verse 19 we read, the desire that cometh, the desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. So when you achieve that desire, when you've accomplished it, it is sweet to the soul. But it is abomination to fools to depart from evil. Abomination. Let's look up abomination. Abomination, a thing that causes disgust or hatred, a feeling of hatred. It is abomination to fools to depart from evil. They hate to depart from evil. Wow. Okay, let's look up evil. Evil, profoundly immoral and malevolent. Profound immorality, wickedness, and depravity, especially when regarded as supernatural force. Verse 20, he that walketh with wise men shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. And referring back to verse 19, fools love evil. So that supports verse 20. He that walketh with the wise is wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed. Evil destroys. Verse 21. Evil pursueth sinners, but to the righteous good shall be repaid. It's pretty straightforward. Verse 22. A good man leaveth an inheritance to his children's children, and the wealth of the sinner is laid up for the just. Verse 23. Much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. Food is in the tillage. Let's look up tillage. Okay, tillage. Tillage is the agricultural preparation of soil by the mechanical agitation of various types, such as digging, stirring, and overturning. So much food is in the tillage of the poor, but there is that is destroyed for want of judgment. Okay, let's look up want of judgment. Okay, to want is to desire, and judgment is the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions. So to want is to lack, and you lack the ability to make considered decisions or come to sensible conclusions, which will destroy you. It destroys those who lack the ability to use good judgment. Sounds like a fool to me. Verse 24. He that spareth his rod hateth his son, but he that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. He that loveth him chasteneth him betimes. Chasteneth. Let's look it up. How do you say it?
Chastened. Chastened.
Chasten. To correct by punishment or suffering. So he who fails to correct his son by punishment or suffering, police will chasteneth your son. First he will chase him, then he will chasteneth him. Verse 25. The righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. So referring back to verse 19, the desire accomplished is sweet to the soul. Sounds like it's satisfying to the soul. So the righteous eateth to the satisfying of his soul, but the belly of the wicked shall want. And to want is to desire. So that says the wicked will always desire. They will never be satisfied. It's always going to be an emptiness from wickedness. End of chapter 13. Be ye blessed.